Weeks of skating, spins, sequins. The Dancing on Ice final takes place this Sunday night.
But the show just wouldn't be the same without the formidable ice panel.
Well, you know, you're a natural disaster.
It's very enjoyable, partly for all the wrong reasons.
I think you're a bit of a romantic.
Oh.
I was overly excited. I loved it.
You look fantastic, little minx.
I loved it, loved it, loved it.
It's like watching somebody who's had one too many at one of those awful, tacky seaside resort discos. You just wish they'd stop.
And the judges, Jason Gardiner, Robin Cousins and Emma Bunton, are here now. It's weird because you have two different faces on this show. You've got our fashion face.
Two different hats.
Well, I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to say it.
How unusual for you.
I know. What a surprise. We'll come to that in a moment. So the fashion you're going to do later, but now you are Mr. Dancing on Ice. And whereas it said that Torval and Dean are the beating heart, you are the dark soul.
Oh!
Yes. Did you know that?
Quite hard.
Oh, my God, black as pitch. Fouler than the blackest witch.
So,
OK.
There's, the new series, there was a new look this year, a few changes. What have you thought about the general series?
I've loved it. It's gone really fast. The changes have caused a bit of controversy. Some people love them. Some people say don't change it if it isn't broken. So the fact that people are talking about it is good enough for me. And I love that people are so passionate about it.
What seems nice to me is that actually, with the sort of slimmed-down panel, you guys get more of an opportunity to critique for longer. There's more time for you to sort of get your point across.
Well, we talk about everybody, don't we? Which we've never done that before. As you know, we only sometimes have time to come to one or two judges in previous series. This time, we've been able to give, I think, a really well-rounded overview of what we feel.
And we can justify what we say, whether people like it or not. It's great to have an opinion, but to be able to have time to back it up and justify it then makes it, OK, I don't like it, but I understand it.
You're a proper judge.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
And you've got a little tougher as well this year, haven't you?
A little tougher, yes. But I think, you know, the thing is for me, I love to see performance and fun and light, so I kind of bring a little bit of niceness to this panel.
I do look at Emma sometimes after these two have had a go, and I look at Emma and I go, is that right? And she's like, well, you know what they're like.
It's nice as well because we get to sit together at the rehearsals and chat about things.
Yeah.
So, you know...
Well, it's interesting when Jason comes out with one of his remarks which, you know, will undoubtedly end up being the controversy of the week.
Yes.
And you say what you say, the two of you are sitting there very stony-faced. So what is the reaction going on behind your eyes when he does what he does?
Sometimes I think, gosh, I wish I had said that, or had the nerve to say it. I've always said I love the fact that he has an opinion, and again, to be able to justify it and say, I wish I could have the nerve to say something similar, probably not the same thing, and put it in a different way, but just to have the nerve to be that blunt.
And sometimes I'm trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
Although sometimes I've heard you laugh out loud.
Out loud.
Out loud. Out loud.
Yeah, sometimes. He does
Should we
make me
remind ourselves of some of those favourite
I'm
moments?
not going to... Oh, why?
Let's have a look.
Here it comes. It'll be here in a second.
I could do them.
Yeah. I know, we can just do it live. There we go.
Matt's skating with his mum. You had what I call a baboon bum. They're rather stumpy, so you need to actually point the foot. Look more like you're about to have an internal examination. You end up looking a little bit goofy out there. A little bit of vanilla ice is melting away. It's not good enough, I'm sorry. What about all my good comments? You never put my good comments back to back,
That would be dull. Of course we're not going to do that.
But also, the one thing about your comments is that you do get a remarkable change out of the skaters. You notice whatever you say to them, whether it be about their arms or about their lines, whatever it is, the following week they do tend to, as much as they might not like it, they do listen to it and come back and improve on it.
Yeah, and I think backstage as well, they really kind of obviously want to hear what Jason's got to say, and even though they might not like it at the time, they really think about it and go away and kind of work on those things.
Look, as I've always maintained, the reason why I use the analogies that I do is because I know it's a bit of a slap at first, but, you know, in the world that I came from and dance, it's how it is. You know, they really do hammer at you and, you know, and you sort of sit there and go, oh, my God. But then you sort of process it and you understand if I spewed out all this technical jargon, they wouldn't understand what I'm talking about, and it would be lost on them. But you know, similarly as well.
I've known Jason for years. He does say to me, "You're not wearing that." You know, he's very, very honest. It's part of the industry, and you know, some people take it with a pinch of salt. Some people take it very seriously.
What about the people who say to you, "Well, it's all well and good for you to say that, but you don't skate"?
Oh, I'm so bored with that. You know, I've never maintained that I'm on the panel, and I wasn't hired as a skating expert. That's why we have a world champion on the panel. Please, people, get this through. I'm there looking at the dance and the performance. You know, that's my background and my area of expertise. And, you know, we don't actually, Emma and I never talk about whether they're technically skating correctly. I always critique about the overall performance.
But you both defer. You just mentioned, you know, Emma, you're much harder this year because she's had a year of watching it, sitting next to me in the rehearsals and the practice and asking the questions. It may not end up out on screen, but they have both learned a lot about what it takes to be able to do the type of material that our skaters are being asked of them.
Emma, what's been your favourite moment so far of the series?
Oh, I've had quite a few, actually, but I thought Laura's solo dance on Sunday was so incredible because you saw her as a performer on her own, no partner. It was a scary moment for her, but she pulled it all out. And also, Sam.
This is a little bit of Laura for you.
So good.
She was so
I loved
good.
her face, you know, it was just...
Look, you forget she's on the ice, I know.
But it's when you watch their feet and how complex the moves are on their feet as well.
And she's not performed in front of an audience before. She's, you know, she's just... So it's brilliant.
But it's just amazing that she'd never skated before, and you're looking at her there just going, you're really good.
Yeah.
What was your other one you were saying?
And I loved Sam as well. I loved the river dance. I couldn't quite believe it. For me, that was a real turning point of, wow, OK, these people are doing great things.
Because, to be honest, I really didn't think that this would work.
We were like...
When they said river dance on ice, I thought, oh, my God, I can think of nothing worse. And then he came out, and it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
So, look, and he even did the jumps, and she didn't. It was just amazing. It was amazing.
Robin?
No, I was going to say, sometimes, you know, you have to fit the tricks around what's needed and try and get those elements in. And sometimes, like with the river dance, it is so stylised. How are they going to blend together? And I think we all both went, ooh, not really sure if it's going to work.
Yeah.
But then again, it was.
Did you have a favourite bit?
One of my favourite bits was actually watching Sam and Jeff in the skate-off together. Didn't like the fact that either of them were there.
Yeah.
But what the skate-off has done, and you say it every week, is that they actually raise their game and go up against it. Yeah. And they both had made mistakes and silly mistakes that they both were able to fix. And that skate-off, to me, was probably the best skate-off of the series.
Well, do you still surprised at how good they get in such a short space of time?
You don't do what they do in their day jobs without having a deliberate focus of making it right. Nobody sets out on this just to have a good time, and we found that from Series 1, and then in Series 2 they saw what Series 1 had done, so we can go a next step further. And now we're at that point where they know the show well enough, they've watched it in the past. If you're going to put yourself out there in a show like this, you have to be committed to those 5 hours every day, 6 or 7 days a week, and then delivering that performance on a Sunday. So, am I surprised that we have so many of them that have gotten so good? Yes, absolutely. I thought, you know, you always have one or two. We had 3, 4. We had probably had 5 contestants that could easily, and we were expecting to have been in the semi-final.
Which makes the final that much more exciting.
This is the best final
series, isn't it?
First one.
It's neck and neck. It's a fight to the finish. You know, we've never had that. It's always been a foregone conclusion, in a way.
In a way. And all 3 of our finalists have been at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's anyone's game, and they're going to have to deliver.
Really, really exciting.
And how do you feel about the fact that obviously this week they're choreographing to a certain extent their own routines? This is their little project. This is their baby.
Production number.
I love this because I'm really looking forward to seeing how creative they're going to be as well.
Exactly.
That's going to be something that's...
Because we've never seen that before. We've never really... I mean, apart from when they put together their, you know, their unique move or their bolero, if they get to do it, we haven't seen them do their own creativity. And certainly from all of our point of view, we are really looking forward to seeing that.
Most importantly for me is that it's all very well to have all those people in the back, but you still have to be shining in the front. And
Yeah.
even if you're part of that group, you have to be and maintain yourself as our main focus.
Yeah, you can't get lost in it.
Yes, because as
And
part of the
that'll be
production
interesting.
number, there are other. You get to pick professional skaters to go with you, don't you?
Yes.
That's how it
But
works.
having those ideas, I want to see what they come up with. And, it's gonna be
But
brilliant.
most of all, making sure that you remain the focus and
Yeah.
not get swallowed up in all of the, you know, the fabulousness of it all.
Yeah.
And so we have to ask, Jason, because it has been a topic of conversation, and it would be remiss of me not to ask.
Okay.
That, and you mentioned the hat at the beginning there. So what's going on under the hat?
Do you know what? Suffice to say, mind your own business.
Is there magic going on underneath that?
Do you know what?
hat?
There's magic going on all through.
Well, we know there's magic going on under
On a
that.
daily basis, there's a lot of
Jason,
magic
it's in
going
the
on. Some of
magazine.
it I'm not even aware of.
We know there's magic going on under that jumper, as we saw in Heat magazine today.
I haven't seen this
Oh
yet.
my goodness gracious
Really?
me!
Well, maybe you ought to have a
Who
look at
knew?
this.
Oh my...
Rambo was on the panel.
Now, is that the hair under the hat?
I wish. Now, that would be magic. No, I mean, I do have head envy, but that's a bit ridiculous.
Is there going to be... Will there be a moment when you think, right, OK, it's time for the hat to come off now? Do we know when that might be?
Well, as you know, once I get sick of the cap look, there will
Yeah.
be a moment when, yes, I
Okay,
will...
Is that moment quite soon, do we think?
Let me feel the waters. I don't know yet.
So, but it could be.
Philip Schofield.
Philip Schofield, now stop it.
Don't you start!
know,
You're
I-
supposed to be your good cop, bad cop here.
Carry on.
Enough now.
Fair enough.
Moving right along.
And
We'll
so,
see you
who's your winner?
Sunday.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, can you say that?
Okay, well, I can ask it. They don't have to answer it, but I'm going to ask it. Who's your winner? Oh, look at
Laura.
Robin's face. Oh, he said it.
Oh,
I said it.
Wow,
Oh,
OK.
okay.
I've
Put it out
asked
there.
lots of people... Jace?
Go on.
Well, I've asked lots of people. My mum is a huge fan of Laura. You know, I think she's kind of standing out at the moment for everybody.
Interestingly enough, a lot of people have said to me that they love Chloe because she sort of represents somebody that they can all relate to, and she's worked so incredibly hard, and she has been the one that has shocked them the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand
Yeah.
that.
It's interesting because Sam was the one that bubbled to the top very early on.
I
and then...
hope he does the bolero, though. I'd love to see him do a bolero.
And
The
I
new
think-
rocked-up version of the bolero as
Oh,
well.
yes, I've
What's
got that.
happening there?
Oh, no, I've got that
Yes,
information
they,
here.
version.
They had the
Oh.
Kurt Cobain of the classic world.
Hold the line, please,
Stunning.
caller. I've
Okay,
got
go
the
on.
information here. Yes, and this is David Garrett.
Garrett. Yeah.
He's
Oh,
he's the
really?
one.
Yeah.
He's rocked up, as you say. He's created a special arrangement of bolero for the final.
violinist.
So that should be
Wow.
amazing.
Exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there
It's
you
gonna
are.
be a
Wonderful.
great
Can't
night.
wait.
Can't
Thank you,
wait.
guys.
We should
Thank
see you
very
on
much.
Sunday.
You shall. See you there.
Thank you very much.
Great
Right,
final.
Still to come, Phil Vickery has been